All right, let's get into the papers this morning. Let's see what stories are jostling for attention on the front pages of newspapers across Nigeria. We have joining us to review the papers from the University of Lagos, Dr. Dan Ekere of the University of Psychology, or Department of Psychology. Department of Psychology, thank you. Philosophy, rather, philosophy. Good morning.
All right.
This morning seemed to be, you know.
I think you need some psychological.
Oh, okay, no problem. We all need therapy one way or the other.
Yes, don't
but
we?
it's nice to have you join us.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, we begin with the Punch. Minimum wage still on our minds, very much on the front pages of the papers. Okay, Labour reacts as FG denies approving 30,000 naira. And the TUC has been responding. That's the they can't say anything they want to say. They can call it a mere recommendation or whatever they want to call it. But the important thing is that at the end of the day, if we do not get the 30,000 naira, they know what we will do. That's the TUC, the Trade Union Congress. Go back to the trenches, obviously.
That's the minute.
It reminds us of the days of militancy.
Could it be that?
But what do you make of this? I mean, that.
Yes, I don't know if. I don't know what the government really want to do with this. Was it that they just wanted to find a way of stopping
the strike,
which
can still be called anytime?
I mean, they only suspended the strike, and you can always resume. You know, but I think it would be
maybe
moral.
the momentum of that strike really may have been affected somewhat. Even if another strike is called now, do you think it will gain the same kind of...
the same thing?
Even more, because it will be clear that the government itself
exactly.
is it will show the kind of government that we have. I hope they don't drag this into a point that will, bring, eventual action, strike action that will paralyze the entire
whole system.
Yes.
All right. FG is set to invite bid for Lagos Container Terminal. Okay, that really something that Lagosians will be looking forward to. It will make a lot of difference.
Sanitize,
yes.
And removing all those trucks from the road.
Oh my God.
And rowdy session as Senate probes President's SIF. Okay, that's the Special Intervention Fund and Jonathan's Shaw P. I met mind-boggling mismanagement on assumption of office, and that's President Buhari still talking there. Well, this is almost 4 years.
In fact, that's the kind of story we don't want to hear. We'll just face the governance of the thing and leave all the stories.
Ekweremadu, Senate dismisses police burglary claim, alleges cover-up. That's Deputy Senate President, who's been talking about attempts on his life and that of his family.
I think if at that level this kind of things are happening, then you can tell the condition of the average man on the streets.
Well, he's been threatening to actually release CCTV footage. Let's see if it will get to that.
Threaten, release them.
Because he was on the news saying that he threatened to release CCTV
you don't need to
videos.
threaten. At least he went to the floor of the Senate to make this, claim.
All right, MTN Nigeria's $10 billion dispute a risk to South Africa's financial system, says bank. And Kaduna court refuses Shiites leader El Zakzaki wife bail.
All right, the Nation newspaper is our next one now. Buhari Atiku clash over 30,000 minimum wage. President studying recommendation. That is what the presidency is saying. Ex-VP is telling the presidency, keep your word. In fact, if you read the detail of what Atiku was saying, he said, well, this government cannot be trusted. The flip-flopping of policies and all of that. But the point there is, others will say, give the government a chance, support them, and let them come up with whatever they want to come up with.
They say they just want to study.
They've been well supported. They've spent over 3 years. I don't know what other chance you want. They have, excuse me, they've had all the chances they needed to actually show that they are sincere. Now, on this one in particular, the 30,000 minimum wage is another test of integrity. The government has actually given the assurance that what has been recommended was a form of an agreement. So all that is needed is the processing to the National Assembly.
Especially when you consider the fact that the president, in receiving the tripartite, committee reports, actually said he would do everything it takes to actually fast track and ensure that the process is faster than...
Yeah, but I think it's quite too early to be cynical about whether the government is going to do this or not, because in true terms, government has to study all of those. In true terms, government has to look into new monies to be voted, because we know that one way or the other, the 2019 budget doesn't have provision for 30,000. They have to study all of those. So it's going to take some time if we really have to be fair to the government.
Right.
Yeah,
Correct.
and
I'm just wondering how long it
to
took for INEC budget to be processed and all of that. So it depends on where our priorities lie.
Exactly.
So if we could spend such speed in, forwarding the INEC budget or proposed figures, nothing stops this government from doing this under a few weeks.
Okay. We'll take a look at that. And Ekuremadu, Senate demands probe. Governors reject report. They rejected the report on the fact that it was a burglary. Police confirm abduction of Catholic priests. Suspect held in Delta. This is a very troubling situation. It's been on. It happened about several days ago. How 29 billion naira ecological fund was looted. Audit indicts embassies. This is really troubling, because the point there is ecological funds meant for things within Nigeria.
So how did it get
the indictment was even on Nigerian embassy or high commissions. It was the UK Nigeria UK High Commission was named, Netherlands was named, and another few countries.
So were they trying to use this to solve ecological problems in
outside
Netherlands and the UK or what? Sometimes
the ecological fund has always had this question mark on it, because nobody seems to ever account for it anyway.
Although generally we have that problem with practically everything, but this one of ecological fund is a major issue.
It's a major issue, exactly.
OPEC
output cuts likely next year. And the bold picture there is the Oba of Benin presenting the Red Book to the Duke of Cornwall. They met in Abuja. And this Red Book is a collection of the history of Benin Kingdom, right from the 9th or 10th century. And the beautiful thing is that there is a chronological account of from one Oba to the other, what this Oba did, what the other Oba did, and all of that. It's really beautiful.
Yeah, and I hope it equally contained the history of Philip's expedition on the Benin massacre. So
no, of course, it contains everything.
Shouldn't leave anything out.
It didn't leave anything out. I'm looking
But I wonder how much of it really are school children, our students.
It's just been launched. Yeah. It's just been launched. So
it will be interesting to have them actually learn their own
history.
Even the book has just been launched. I know the history itself has been common knowledge.
Exactly. It's been common knowledge.
I'm sure that essentially those who are concerned about it would have studied something about it. Very interesting.
There's even a center. There's a cultural center in Benin that is trying to domesticate some of this history in primary schools and
it's a good
secondary
thing.
schools. Yeah, I think we really need to encourage our children to study, those things, so that we don't continue to carry this
so that they will know about,
exactly, discovered,
even
discovered Africa,
who have been working, fishing, living their lives, but Mongo Park was the one who discovered it.
It took Mongo Park to come all the way to discover people who have been on ground for centuries. Exactly.
All right. Okay, moving on to the New Telegraph. Primaries, how APC governors put Oshomole in trouble. DSS grills party chair. Okorocha Amosun linked with plot. APC feigns ignorance, and PDP president tolerating corruption. Court garnishes Imo accounts. Or garnishes, Okay. All right. Well, the APC has been saying that it's not aware of any DSS interrogation of the party chairman.
Even the president said we're not aware.
We're not aware.
That has been their claim, and let's equally believe that they are not. But again, what is the chairman being quizzed about? It's about primaries. It's about, I even want to believe that it is time for the Nigerian Senate and the National Assembly to actually pass a law that will ensure that all political parties carry out direct primaries, if truly we want to strengthen our democracy. Because this idea of a few governors just, arranging a few people inside government house, and at the end of the day, a candidate emerges, does not go well for our democracy.
And it's not looking like it's across, I mean, it's not across board. In some areas, yeah, you can do indirect primaries. In other
there
areas,
has to be a uniform
so it
pattern.
looks
But-
like
but
where
if you look at it-
where it's convenient, you do direct primaries.
But if you look at it, holistically, this is the first time, apart from option A4, 1993,
that
this
we're
is the
having.
first time we're having this. So the point there is a good test, is a good development. We'll fine tune it as we get along.
Yeah, but can it become the norm
Let it
for
be.
all the
That is
parties?
the point
It
I'm
just
making.
happened for the
Both
first
APC
time. So
The
let's
more
let's
reason
let's
why-
wait to
the
The
see.
more
Let's-
reason why we have to get it, a backing for
Yeah.
this to be
Legal
a norm.
backing.
What is
Okay.
the law
But
providing
it's
for
good.
it?
It's good.
Yes.
It just happened for the first time now.
Yeah,
there
there
are
will be-
staggered
let there be a
elections.
second time.
There are staggered elections before 2023 election. We're going to see. We'll see
How it will play out.
These,
Okay.
things,
All
these,
right.
these are the things to let you know that the democracy is actually growing gradually, taking root.
It's growing with conflicts and all the rest.
Okay,
Politics is
so-
about conflict resolution.
Yes, and how we're resolving this
Yes.
conflict is another matter. Kaduna Court denies El Zakzaki bail.
This Senzazaki issue for me is becoming something else. Although I wouldn't know the issues and the arguments that were, presented, regarding the bail and the rest of it. But I'm thinking that the way and manner this issue is being handled, I hope it does not degenerate to something else, because I know that in some occasions, Senzazaki was granted bail.
A number of occasions.
Good,
Let's
and
not say
it
several.
was never made good.
Yeah.
The man is still in detention, and most of the time we see, or we do hear that it's in military detention, whatever it is. I don't think it's
At the time, they said he was being held for his own good.
you cannot hold a
Yeah.
man for his own good when he has his own house where he can.
Well,
rest his
on the overall, this is part of the dent on the human rights record of Nigeria. And right now, Nigeria, in
It's
fact,
not,
the review of Nigeria's human rights started on Monday. And this is going to be taken into consideration.
and
alongside
the army has always
Suki
been
and
an
all
issue.
the others, yes, yes, indeed. Senate reduces power sector's budget by 25.5 billion naira. And there's this troubling story of a young man who killed, I don't even think I want to.
Well,
Talk
it
about
is
that.
a headline. It's
It is a
It's just a
headline,
headline
yeah.
on the papers about how bizarre things happen
Very bizarre,
around.
very bizarre.
All right, the next paper now is the Vanguard newspaper. Oshomole's tango with DSS worsens APC crisis. An APC chairman quizzed adamant in encounter with DSS. And Buhari, unaware, orders investigation into development. And party DSS deny Oshomole's travels. APC governors split. Okay. We've talked about that, so let's move on now. Illegal grazing. Lagos State government seizes 30 cattle and rams, warns herdsmen.
I hope the herdsmen saga is not coming this way. Yeah, but I think this actually, strengthens the call for ranching and what have you, because sometimes the way and manner these things are carried out, as a matter of fact, it does not suggest that we really want to, move forward, because in some cases you find these cattle being, grazing on farmlands and all the rest, somebody else's investment. You want to destroy it, and you expect that yours should be there for you to earn a living on. I think it doesn't go well. So
And don't forget, it's not only the farmlands where they're actually grazing. They go as far as our National Assembly.
even the airport.
Exactly,
So
we've seen that
they kind
before.
of risk
We've seen
those videos.
portent for the state.
But ultimately, it shouldn't be a big deal for anyone to say, I want to buy a portion of land to graze, to get a ranch or something.
That is just
all
it.
of that. That should be what...
But in fact, when you get to the bigger point of,
Lagos.
Lagos.
You're coming into Lagos.
they are somewhere there. What do they do there, really? It's a way of saying that, we can actually...
Confining them in some area, yeah.
Good. So, and they feed this cattle there. What else do you do in ranching? It's not the same thing. So I think that perhaps government is actually strengthening their drive for, itinerant, attitude towards grazing. But if there has been encouragement, and if there has been that assistance that you really need to, ranch your livestock, I'm very sure that these people will embrace it.
Yeah, but obviously those who are saying no to it, it has to do with the lack of confidence in the motive in the first place of government saying, states, is it possible for you to give grazing land to this
But
Yeah,
if,
but
you,
I
if, you
don't
come,
think
if you come
no,
from
once
that, if you
it's a
come from
policy,
that window,
the moment it is made a policy, you don't need federal government appealing to states. All right? Federal government does not appeal to states to give farmers land or give anybody
yeah,
land.
but the issue there is why should it even be a policy of government? Because the point there is grazing or cattle grazing is just one aspect of agriculture. There are fisheries, there are people into piggery, there are people into poultry. Are you telling government to give them portion of land?
But it's an important aspect of agriculture that seems to be threatening our very existence. So something drastic has to be done.
It's not more important, but it's just that the way and manner they've carried on over the years.
It's just the way
has kind of given it. It has become a culture. So trying to reverse it is the issue. I think that's the way all this input is necessary.
It's just a way of trying to handle it. And then we have 500,000 jobs created through Anchor Bora program. CBN is revealing that. Court rejects El Zakzaki wife's bail applications, fixes trial for January 22nd. All right, Buhari to take decision on minimum wage soon. Lai Mohammed is revealing that, and we have the steer clear of VAT. It's a state's affair. Rufai tells federal government and blackout hits Lagos airport. It's okay.
And that one lasted for about 1.5 hours.
This is not the first time. It's very repeated. This blackout and the rest.
At the airport.
It's strange. You know, sometimes when you are flying into Lagos, you begin to have that kind of experience. And you go to smaller countries, even within Africa, you don't find that. It's really disheartening.
When you're landing on Otambo Airport, it's so beautiful.
I'm telling you.
It's just so beautiful. Especially because most of the flights from Nigeria to South Africa are always in the night, and then you're landing in the morning at 5. It's so beautiful. It's like,
very serene.
Can I just remain here like this?
Imagine. And then you get in here, what you find is candlelight.
Okay, let's move on very quickly. This day is my final paper. Trouble ahead as FG says Buhari yet to decide on minimum wage. Kachiku, Nigeria's oil output hits 2.2 million barrels per day early 2019 as crude oil rebounds to $73 over Russia and Saudi output cut talks. U.S. Institute denies predicting victory for Buhari in 2019. And then, of course, you have the bold picture of the Duke and the Prince. Okay. Which one is the Duke now? Is it not the Duke? The Duke is the Prince.
The Duke is the Duke of Cornwall.
The Duke of Cornwall now. And you have, of course, Nduka Baigbena.
He's referred to as a prince.
As a prince, anyhow.
Oh, you want to believe that he's only the one from England
that is a
prince. I wonder. And then, of course, you have Naomi Campbell.
Naomi Campbell.
Right there, smack in the middle. All right.
Okay, Daily Trust is the last paper today. After 2 rounds of DSS interrogation, Oshombole takes off for United States of America. Okay, we'll read to get details of all of that controversy going back and forth. Passenger slums dies at Lagos airport. Wow. It's really a troubling one there. 95% of states can't pay 30,000 naira as minimum wage, Governor Mahi says.
No, it shows Umahi doesn't know what governance is about. It's not about sharing money from the center. It means he doesn't even know how to raise. There is no state in Nigeria that cannot pay 30,000. Let him focus on, generating funds. There are several resources within his state that he has not even looked at because he's getting money from the center. If all the oil money was actually being taken, managed by the owners of the oil and the rest of it, he would have by now devised means of generating.
But he was even commended.
So any governor who cannot pay should quit.
Yeah, he was even commended for the Abakaliki rice, which was a great success within his state.
There is more he can do even with the rice.
Of course.
There is more.
Of course. All right, we'll come to that as we begin the discussion. We'll be talking about that as we get along.
Labour has actually said 2019 is going to be dependent on this.
Of course.
Honestly, is that how you pay or you
leave? When we say our politics should be based or campaigning should be based on issues. These are the issues.
These are the issues. Can you deliver on these issues?
Exactly.
This is what the people want.
Of course. Yeah. All right. Drunk inspector dismissed as Lagos police close beer joints. Okay. APC PDP senators clash over federal government social intervention fund.
Don't only close beer joints. There are a lot of Baraga joints at the TVC. So close
it can be funny
I think that will solve the problem.
Yeah, and the moment they take this in, sometimes you begin to hear of all this accidental discharge and the rest of it because of the influence of alcohol.
Exactly.
We deserve more than that.
All right, CBN defends Naira with $9.5 billion in 6 months. This is still going on. So we can see the naira has been stable. The naira has been relatively stable for a while now, and courtesy of the intervention of the Central
How
Bank of
sustainable
Nigeria.
is that stability?
That
Is
is
it
another
not just
issue.
cosmetic?
But
But
talking
again,
about,
I've equally discovered that the 100 naira note has become a serious issue. What is happening? Is there any news about, because it's about the worst of all the denominations.
the denominations.
So terrible, you know, and I don't know how we got to that point that we cannot have.
It speaks to our handling of our, you know,
Yeah, but that's not the only one that is being
naira
handled.
note, and then the quality.
Good.
To start
The
with.
quality of
and where are
production.
the coins? Where are the
No,
coins?
no, we stopped using coins
Where
for a
are
long
the
time.
coins?
No, but you see, the bank gives
You-
you coins sometimes, and they
Really?
say you cannot deposit coins.
Aha, so that's the
getting
thing.
it?
And it has become a psychological thing where you travel abroad to South Africa or to United
Even
States.
Ghana
you
here.
always
They
get
give
coins.
you coins and you'll be
Coins.
like, what am I going
What
to
am
do?
I
You
supposed
even
to
find
do
it
with it?
difficult to reconcile the
Exactly,
figures because
exactly.
we are not used to it here
You,
anymore.
you just keep them somewhere. I said maybe
Just-
these.
that is just it.
No, we have to get things right. All right, thank you very much, Dr. Danekere, for coming.